We now want to have a community agreement. So the community agreement is to create a safe and supportive space for today so that we can move forward and all of us can feel like we're in a good place and that this is a safe and respectful place to be. We did a community agreement at the last youth summit and it was wonderful. So we would really like to welcome Lydia and Miranda to the stage to do the community agreement for us. Lydia is a community developer with PeerNet BC. She has a passion working with diverse communities, from her volunteer experience working with seniors to her extensive work with queer youth in the Lower Mainland. Lydia brings her enthusiasm for community development and experience in community mobilization, engagement, and development with respect to social justice and queer issues.
It's my pleasure to introduce Miranda Rutty. She's a youth community developer with PeerNet BC. She has spent the last 19 years born and raised on unceded Coast Salish territories. Miranda finds that she's not really a people person as much as she is a cat person. Miranda's wellness tools include painting and spoken word. Please give a round of applause to welcome Lydia and Miranda.
Can you hear me? Okay. I love how serious yours was, and then mine was like, I don't like people, I like cats. Hey! So yeah. it works that way. So how we like to start off the day is introduce ourselves and kind of tell something quirky, because you can't be embarrassed if you start off with the most embarrassing thing you have. So something quirky about myself is I sleep talk really bad, and I fall asleep really fast. Cool. And I fall asleep really fast, and sometimes I say really embarrassing things. One time I was sleeping, and I had some friends over, and I facilitate a lot, and I started facilitating to them. I'm like, if you can hear me, clap twice. If you can hear me, clap twice. And they're like, what?
Good morning, everyone. Hey! Woo! Yeah. Look at, whoa, my face is huge. It's like, my name is Lydia, and something quirky and unique about myself is that growing up, I always wanted to be a cool kid, which I thought breakdancing would be the way. So I wanted to learn how to break dance, and I tried to do the worm. Do you know the worm? You know. But I couldn't do the worm, so I invented my own dance move called the flopping fish. Do y'all want to see it?
Does everybody want to see it? And I heard one person over there be like, no. So now you know stuff about us. So it's time to turn to somebody who's sitting near you, but maybe you don't know. Like, don't turn to your best friend. That's not cool. And say something quirky about yourself and your name.
Yeah, introduce yourself first. You know, say, hi, my name is so-and-so. Something quirky. Okay, everybody, we'll give you 2 seconds to do that.
I think she said professor.
It works. Awesome.
Did everybody embarrass themselves? Sweet. So you're probably thinking, why do we need community agreements when there's like 2,000 of us? By the way, there's like almost 2,000 of you. Thanks for coming out. It's important to have community agreements because we're going to be here until like 3. That's a long time to be with a bunch of people that maybe you don't know, maybe you do, and it's important to know what each each and every one of us, each and every one of us needs to be able to feel safe and to be able to feel like they can be 100% at this conference. So what I want you to do is go into your loot bags and you have a pen and a paper, and I want you to write something down that you would put on your community agreement, something that you need from us as staff or the volunteers and each other to be able to be 100% today.
That's the best face ever! Everybody got their pen and paper? Go. I don't need a mic. My voice is loud. Great. So what we have up here is actually last year's community agreements from last year's Youth Summit. So in your pens and with your pad, please just jot down some things that you need from each other in the space to be able to participate in today. You can take inspiration from what's up there. Isn't it pretty? So we'll give everybody a minute to do so. That would be great.
So how are folks? Are you just about ready to go? Cool, you can keep working while we talk. For those of you who have stuff on your paper, how many of you had something that was up here? Like, how many of you had be supportive? Someone? So it's important to be supportive because we're going to be talking, and there's going to be speakers talking about a lot of different things, some things that might be new, some things might be all too familiar for some folks. So it's important to be supportive of each other and also your own personal growth while doing this conference.
Cool. So because we have so many people compared to last year, what we're going to be doing is exactly what Miranda just did. Is just ask people, how many of you had some of the things, oops, that's my face again. How many of you had, for example, how many of you had respect and understanding? Awesome, raise up your hand. Woo! Take a look around. Awesome. That's good. So we might reflect that to the last year's one, and to kind of describe what does that mean, because respect can look so different to all of us. So some of those things includes being aware of diversity. We all come from different backgrounds, different needs. We have different experience. But we're also coming together to talk about mental health today, right? And so let's respect each other for our differences, be honest, don't judge a book by its cover, and be more open-minded. Cool.
So it's also important to note that usually when it's in a smaller group, we have you write it down and we go over it, but it's such a big group today, so we apologize. If you want, later we have a booth that's right to the left. There's a little right over there, and if you want, you can come visit us and write some more things that you want on your community agreement, because this is last year's, and it might not be what you need, and we'll use it the next year to help give people examples. So how many of you had reflective or something like, I see a few hands. Cool. it's really important to be reflective about these things, kind of veering off of what we said about supporting each other, because we need to internalize and really like learn and check in with ourselves, because again, some of these things might be really close to home. Now would be a good time to point out that we have volunteers. They're wearing blue shirts, I think. If there is any volunteers, do you want to wave so we know what you look like? Stand up. There's a bunch of them over there. It's super cool if you go talk to them at any point, or talk to the people who you came with to get support. Also, if you feel like you need a quiet place to really reflect and maybe talk to some people, we have listeners in a top secret place somewhere. So you can talk to a volunteer and they can bring you there, for sure.
You can also go to the concourse if you're like, I'm really overwhelmed with all these lights. I don't know. You can also go into concourse and take a little break or go to the bathroom. We both really need to go to the bathroom. So we're going to speed this up.
Yeah.
It's my turn again. So the last one we're going to talk about is inclusion and acceptance. How many of you had inclusion and acceptance? And awesome. Whoa. Cool. So what we mean by inclusion and acceptance is definitely be friendly, have a smile, and invite each other to participate in today. Try and do something that we talked about earlier. Introduce yourself to somebody new today and get to know them. And listen would be a really good thing. Have ears. And that's about it for the community agreements that we're talking about for today. Please, once again, we have the living agreements that we're going to have at our booth. We welcome you to come and add towards it, and we'll use that for the following year. So you can see that every year we're going to have this growing agreement. So we definitely want you to be part of that, because you're making this summit what it is today. So we want to thank you for participating in this community agreements, and I'm handing it off to Miranda.
And really quickly before we go, what we like to do just to make sure that people are all on the same page is clap in. So on the count of 3, we're going to like clap in as loud as we can. Does that sound good?
So that we can are we going to agree with this agreement?
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
Cool. 1, 2, 3. Sweet. We'll be back later.